Welcome back. Joining us this morning is Mary Tocco. She's an advocate against vaccinating your children and allowing them to grow up vaccine-free in a healthy environment. Thanks for joining us this morning.
My pleasure.
So this morning we're going to talk about the swine flu. There has been lots and lots of talk about the swine flu, and there's lots of buzz about them rushing to get a vaccination in time for the fall season. So what do you feel about the swine flu?
Well, I actually believe it is being fast-tracked. I do not believe the safety studies are going to be done that can ensure any kind of safety. I believe that, unfortunately, the whole thing is just out of control. Parents have to know that, number one, they have a right to say no to vaccines. In this state, we have a religious and a medical exemption. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of children who are sensitive already to many of the things in vaccinations because their bodies have been overloaded with vaccines. I'm very concerned because the government is asking that everyone do 2 regular vaccines and then this new swine flu vaccine on top of that. Never before in history has anybody done 3 flu vaccines in 1 flu season. So I'm very, very concerned. I think that it's very unsafe. I believe that our government has absolutely gone crazy on this issue.
Well, I think, like we were talking before, that, even when the regular flu, they always tell you to get a shot. And even the people that get the shot still wind up getting the flu anyway. I've had the flu once in my life. I've never gotten the shot and have been absolutely fine. Why do you think they can't do this with the swine flu?
I don't know. That's a very good question. And you know what else? Another thing, too, the government is saying that this H1N1 is a new virus. That is not true. You can actually go on to a website, novaccine.com, and look at 2 different flu shots from the past, Fluzone and Flumist. Both of them contain the H1N1, and both of them were approved back in 2006.
Yes.
So when they say these things, they're being very deceptive. That is not the truth. And then they also say that this is a combination bird, swine, and human.
Okay.
How does that happen?
Yes.
I mean, we have to really stop and think about this and be willing to ask these hard questions, because they're telling us that it's a combination. Well, did this get formed in a laboratory? There's a lot of controversy about how does this happen.
Yes.
And one of the companies that are making the flu vaccine this fall, Baxter, actually in February of this year released a contaminated flu vaccine to 18 countries that was contaminated with the avian flu virus.
Yes.
And the World Health Organization discovered it, pulled them supposedly from all these countries, and said that if this vaccine would have gotten out, it would have caused uncalled for. I mean, they don't even know how many numbers of people that would have died from this deadly avian flu. Well, within 1 month later, we then have an outbreak of a weird flu in Mexico. You have to wonder what's really going on here.
Yes.
And then if you look even deeper, you find out that back when we passed the Homeland Security Bill and some other acts that were passed in Washington, we actually gave flu vaccine manufacturers big money, millions of dollars, to develop the flu vaccines. Well, now they've got them. They've got to get them out there.
Yeah.
What better way than to make an emergency type situation and get everyone in this state of fear and panic, thinking that they have to get this vaccine or they're going to die? It's all very out of control.
Yes.
And, again, the media is going crazy. I saw one of the headlines was 90,000 people expected to die this flu season. Morgues are preparing for, bodies. How on earth can we get to this place where we are so panic-driven and there's no science behind it? It's very scary.
And the thing that they're saying is that they want they figure elderly individuals are not going to need the vaccination because they say they probably already developed an immunity to it over the years. But they're saying infants, young children, children in school, mothers, even pregnant mothers, and adults and people that have health issues should get this. How do you feel about children taking this vaccination?
I'm very concerned. Again, we have a whole group of children that are already ill with, the statistics are outrageous. Asthma, autism, the ADHD, seizure disorders, diabetes. These kids are already chronically ill. To just throw 3 vaccinations into them without any safety studies is actually, I believe, criminal. I just don't think we should be doing it. And parents, you have to know that, number one, you're not given the full information. You're only given part of what they want you to hear. Let's just even look at some of the ingredients that are in a vaccine. Egg protein. Many children right now are very allergic to eggs. Formaldehyde is we know it's a contaminated thing they use to embalm people. It does not belong in the human body. Polysorbate 80 is in the vaccine. It's shown to cause infertility in mice. Sodium chloride and calcium chloride, MSG, an excitotoxin made by man, a man-made toxin that they know stimulates, and they're going to put this in the vaccines as well. Thimerosal, the form of mercury that there's been all this controversy for years about, they tell you it's out of the vaccines. In actuality, they still make it with the vaccines. They supposedly filter out in the end. And we know that this flu vaccine is going to contain thimerosal. And I also read just yesterday that the vaccine flu programs that they're trying out right now, the trials, are not with vaccines with thimerosal. So they're going to try out the vaccines without thimerosal on people in America, say that they're safe, and then the ones that the people and the children are going to get are going to be full of mercury. These are all very scary things that are going on out there. Squalene is a huge issue. Squalene is an oil adjuvant that is toxic to human beings. They know that for years and years, squalene leads to autoimmune disease and allergies. It's outlawed in this country to be used in vaccines. The vaccines coming from Europe will have squalene in it. So these are just some of the issues we have to be concerned with.
Now, if somebody's actually interested in learning more about what's in these and learning more about other vaccinations, how can they get in contact with you or even purchase your CD or your DVD that you've created?
My website is childhoodshots.com.
Okay.
My DVD is over 2.5 hours of nothing but solid medical research, documentation, congressional records, all about the vaccine ingredients, the production, specific vaccines, some of the problems that we're having with them. Everything that I say is based on fact. And my goal is to reach parents and inform them so that they can make an informed vaccine decision.
Excellent. Well, thank you for joining us again this
My
morning.
pleasure.
We appreciate it.